"Let's do a DNA test," my sister said, laughing. We all laughed too. None of us knew that joke would break our hearts forever. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. It was a Sunday afternoon, and all four of us, my two sisters, my younger brother, and I, were sitting in the living room, talking and laughing after lunch. Mom had just finished making jollof rice, and we were feeling full and happy. The youngest, Ada, our 23-year-old sister, was scrolling through her phone when she suddenly said, "You guys, there's this DNA testing thing people are doing online. What if we try it? Like, just for fun?" We all burst out laughing. "A DNA test?" my brother Jude asked. "Why? You think Daddy stole you from the hospital?" Ada giggled. "No. I just mean, it will be fun to see our genes. You know, who looks like who, if we have any special traits." Even me, the oldest, 31 years old, thought it was funny. We were just joking. There was no reason to think anything was wrong. Our parents had been married for over 35 years. Our dad was loving, funny, strict but kind. He was always there. Always. So we agreed. A few weeks later, the kits arrived. We each spat into the tubes, labeled them, and sent them off to the lab. We went back to our lives, not thinking much about it. Then the results came. And everything changed. It was a quiet Thursday evening when the email arrived. I opened the result on my phone and smiled, expecting something fun like, "You have royal blood," or "Your ancestors are from Egypt." But then I saw it. A chart. Names. Lines. Percentages. I frowned. Wait, something didn't look right. According to the result, only Ada, the youngest, had a 99.9% DNA match with our dad. Me, Jude, Tulu. Our numbers were almost zero. I sat up, my hands shaking. I checked again. And again. No. It couldn't be. I ran to Jude's room. "Check your email," I said. He looked confused, but opened it. A few minutes later, we were all staring at our phones. The room was quiet. Even the clock ticking on the wall sounded loud. Then Jude whispered, "This has to be a mistake." Tolu shook her head slowly. "But it says it here too. Only Ada matches Dad." Ada started crying. "What does this mean?" she asked. No one answered. We didn't sleep that night. We took the test again. Different company. Different lab. Same result. Only Ada was our father's biological child. The rest of us had someone else's blood in our veins. I felt like my chest was about to explode. I couldn't breathe. My whole life felt like a lie. All the memories of Dad carrying me, walking me to school, calling me his carbon copy, all of it suddenly felt fake. But it wasn't fake to him. He didn't know. We did. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed and remembered the day Dad sold his only motorcycle just to pay my university fees. He walked to work for weeks. I saw his shoes wear out. I saw him limp. But he never complained. Why? Because he loved me. Because he believed I was his son. But I wasn't. I covered my face and cried. I cried like a baby. We had to talk to Mom. We didn't shout. We didn't accuse. We just asked. Her face changed. She sat down slowly on the edge of the couch, her eyes wide. Then, without a word, she began to cry. Loud, broken sobs. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Please don't tell your father." "Why?" Jude asked. "Why did you do it?" She shook her head. "It was before I married him. I was with someone else. I didn't even know. I thought he was the father. But he's not, I said quietly. And he doesn't know. She nodded. He doesn't. And he must never know. Please. Ada stood in the corner, tears in her eyes. She looked ashamed for being the only real child. But it wasn't her fault. None of this was. We made a decision. We wouldn't tell Dad. He was turning 60 that month. He had worked hard his whole life. He gave everything to us, his time, his money, his health, his love. Telling him the truth now would destroy him. So we agreed, he will never know. But even though we made that decision, it didn't bring peace. It brought pain. Deep, silent pain. Because every time I look at him now, every time he calls me my son, every time he smiles at me with pride, something inside me breaks. Because he doesn't know the truth. And I do. I laugh when he tells stories from when I was small. But inside, I'm crying. I nod when he says, "You're just like me, strong and stubborn." But I want to scream. I don't know who my real father was. Mom said he's dead. She didn't even tell us his name. And maybe it doesn't matter. Because the man who raised me, he is my real father. Not by blood, but by love. And that's the most painful part. We started it as a joke. We just wanted to laugh. Now, we can never laugh the same way again. The next morning, I woke up and couldn't look in the mirror. Because the face I saw, it wasn't mine anymore. It was his. His smile. His cheekbones. His eyes. But I wasn't his child. Not by blood. And now, I couldn't unknow it. Downstairs, the smell of fried plantain filled the air. Dad was in the kitchen. Singing. Flipping dodo. Humming the same old church song he always sang when he cooked on Saturdays. Jehovah, you are the Most High. He didn't know. He had no idea his world had changed forever. Only we knew. Jude walked in behind me. He looked like he hadn't slept at all. Tolu came down quietly, eyes red. Ada came last. Her face was pale. She couldn't even look at us. We all sat at the table like statues. Dad served us with a big grin. "My children. My champions," he said. No one answered. He didn't notice. He was just happy to see us all together. He handed me my plate. "My carbon copy," he smiled. I smiled back. But it hurt. It hurt like fire. After breakfast, we all sat outside in the backyard. The sun was up, but everything felt dark. "We can't keep doing this," Jude said. "Pretending. What else can we do?" Tolu asked softly. "Tell him," Jude said. "He deserves to know." "No," I said firmly. "He raised us. He sold his things. He walked miles just to pay for your school fees," I pointed at Jude. "And yours too," Jude snapped. "And now we know why. You're not his either." Ada broke into tears. "Please stop fighting." We went silent. The truth was, we were all hurting. Ada stood up, wiping her face. "I don't even want to be the real one," she said. "It doesn't make me lucky. It makes me feel alone." She walked back into the house. We sat there, quiet, watching the birds fly across the sky. That night, I watched Dad sit in his room, reading his Bible. I stood outside his door, listening. He was whispering a prayer. "Thank you, God, for my family, for my children, for my wife, for everything." Tears filled my eyes. He was thanking God for a lie. But he didn't know. Later that week, we tried to act normal. We played cards. We joked. We watched football. But everything felt different. Because the silence was loud. Because every time he called me a son, I felt like a thief, stealing love that didn't belong to me. One evening, I walked in on Tolu crying in the bathroom. I hugged her. I feel like I don't exist anymore, she whispered. Like I'm fake. You're not fake, I told her. We are just confused. But Daddy thinks I'm his little girl, she said. And I'm not. I couldn't answer. Because I felt the same. Then one morning, something unexpected happened. Dad called us all to the living room. I want to talk to you, he said. My heart jumped. Did he know? Did Mom tell him? We sat down. He looked at us, smiling gently. I just want to say, I'm proud of you all. We stared at him, confused. He laughed. No reason. I was just thinking about how far we've come. You're all doing well. I'm just grateful. Then he looked at Ada. And you, my last baby. You'll always be my angel. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. He pulled her close and kissed her forehead. Don't cry, Ada. You know Daddy's here. In that moment, I knew. We couldn't tell him. Not now. Not ever. Not because we were cowards. But because we were protecting him. Because we loved him. Because the man who stayed. The man who fought for us. The man who never left. That man was more than just a father. He was a hero. And heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes, they wear old slippers, and cook dodo while singing. They say family is about blood. But what if the man who gave you everything isn't the one who gave you blood? Daddy's 60th birthday was getting close. Everyone was talking about the party. Mom was busy planning food. Tolu was picking a dress. Ada was designing the banner. Jude was acting quiet. And me. I couldn't breathe properly. It had been weeks since we found out the truth. That Ada, the youngest, was the only one who had Daddy's blood. The rest of us, me, Tolu, Jude, we were not really his children. But he didn't know. Only we knew. And that made it worse. One morning, I saw him washing his car. He looked up, smiled at me, and said, "You'll help me carry drinks at the party, right, my son?" I smiled back. But something inside me broke again. How could I carry drinks, when I couldn't carry this truth? Later that day, Tolu came into my room. "I don't want to go for the party," she said quietly. I sat up. "Why?" "I feel like a stranger," she said. "I feel like I'm lying every time I call him Daddy." I looked at her. I wanted to say, "But he still loves you." I wanted to say, "He raised you." But the words didn't come. Because the truth was, I felt the same. That evening, Ada was in the living room helping Mom hang decorations. Daddy walked in holding an old photo album. "Come and see this picture," he said. "This was the day you were born, Ada." She walked over. He hugged her tight. "My last baby," he said. "You'll always be my little angel." She tried to smile. But when he left the room, Ada started crying. "I don't want to be the only one," she whispered. "It feels like a punishment." I hugged her. But I didn't know what to say. Jude and I sat outside that night. The sky was quiet. The stars looked like tiny tears. He sipped water slowly and said, "I tried searching for my real dad's name." My heart stopped. "What did you find?" I asked. "He died before I was born," Jude said. "I found one old photo. That's it." He looked up. "I don't feel anything for him. But still, I feel like I don't belong anywhere now." I nodded slowly. Because deep down, I had searched too. And I had found nothing. Just empty space. The next morning, I walked past Daddy's room. His door was half open. He was kneeling beside his bed, eyes closed, whispering a prayer. "Thank you, Lord, for my family. Keep my children safe. Let them always know how much I love them." I stood there frozen. Tears filled my eyes. Because I knew something he didn't. He was praying for children who weren't really his. But he meant every word. That made it even more painful. Later that night, I went to Mom's room. She was folding clothes on the bed. I sat down beside her. "Why didn't you tell him?" I asked. She froze. Then she sighed. "I wanted to," she said. "Many times. But I couldn't. He was too kind. Too good. I couldn't break his heart." She looked away. And maybe I was scared he would leave. I didn't speak. I just sat there. Because I understood. Sometimes the truth isn't loud. Sometimes the truth hides because it's afraid of hurting someone good. The next day, I helped Daddy carry some drinks into the house. He wiped his face and smiled. "You remind me of myself when I was young," he said. "You're stubborn, smart, and full of heart." I laughed, just to hide my tears. Because if only he knew. He saw himself in me. But I was not even his. That night, I went to bed early. But I couldn't sleep. My mind was too loud. I remembered the time Daddy carried me when I was sick and stayed awake all night. I remembered when he taught me how to ride a bike, how he clapped and said, "That's my boy." I remembered him shouting from the crowd at my graduation, "That's my son." He was always there. From the beginning. From every moment that mattered. So maybe blood doesn't decide who your father is. Maybe love does. Maybe sacrifice does. Maybe staying, when you didn't have to, is what truly makes someone a parent. He may not have given us blood. But he gave us his life. He gave us his back when we needed to climb. He gave us his heart, without knowing it was breaking. We carry his name. But not his blood. Still, when he smiles at us, we smile back. Because he is our father. And we are his. Even if the world says otherwise. Daddy's 60th birthday finally came. The compound was full of people, family, neighbors, old friends. Music played. Jollof rice filled the air. People were laughing, dancing, snapping pictures. The sun was bright, but inside my chest, it was raining. We all wore matching outfits, white lace with gold embroidery. Dad wore a full agbada. He looked like royalty. His eyes shone like a man who believed he had it all. His children. His wife. His legacy. If only he knew. A pastor came to pray for him. People clapped and shouted amen. Then Daddy stood up to speak. He smiled wide, held the microphone and said, "Today is not just my birthday. It's a celebration of life. I'm not a rich man. But I'm wealthy because of the family God gave me. My wife. My children. My angels." My heart dropped. He continued. "Some men die lonely. But look at me, I'm surrounded by love. You all are my greatest achievement. I couldn't ask God for anything more." The crowd clapped. He turned to us, Jude, Tolu, Ada, and me. My children, my pride. My reason for waking up every day. You are my greatest gift. I smiled. But inside, I was screaming. After the speech, we cut cake and danced. Ada danced with Daddy first. She was crying, but smiling too. Tolu danced next. She kept wiping her eyes. Jude and I danced last. And when Daddy held me and said, "You're a good man, just like your father," I nearly broke down. Because I didn't know who my real father was. But I knew who my dad was. That night, after the party was over, the canopies were empty and the compound was quiet. We gathered in the living room, just us four. Jude was the first to speak. "We are never telling him," he said. Tolu nodded slowly. Ada whispered, "We can't. It will destroy him." I didn't say a word, because I agreed. We all sat in silence. Not happy. Not sad. Just full. Full of truth. Full of love. Full of pain. Later that night, I heard a knock on my door. It was Daddy. He sat on my bed and smiled. "Thank you for today," he said. It was the best day of my life. I nodded, forcing a smile. Then he stood up and placed his hand on my head. "Let me pray for you, my son." And right there, he prayed for me. He prayed like a man who believed I was his own flesh and blood. And I let him. Because to me, he is more than that. He is the man who stayed. The man who gave everything. The man who never once made us feel less than loved. And as he left the room, I whispered something softly. "I love you, Daddy." He turned around and smiled. "I love you too, my son." That night, we made the final choice. We will carry the truth to the grave. Not because we are cowards, but because we are protecting the man who gave us a name, a home, a heart, even when we want his by blood. He doesn't need to know. Because in every way that matters, we are his. But now, I ask you, what would you do? Would you tell a good man the truth, even if it breaks him? Or would you keep the lie, to protect his heart? What did you think about this story? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I always enjoy reading what you have to say. And guess what? A brand new and exciting story is dropping in just a few days. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know when the next story goes live. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like and share it with your friends. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.